Hey, good morning everybody. This is Augusta McDonnell reporting live in Florence, where I'm here with Mike Cole, who's an information officer with the Northern Rockies Incident Management Team, looking at the map and an update for today's conditions here in Florence and with the Lolo Peak fire. So let's get Mike on. Here we go. Alrighty, Mike, what do we got going on today?
Okay, Augusta, and for all the people out there watching on Facebook Live, this is a map of the fire area today, and these areas, this is part of our infrared flight. These large red dots, these are isolated areas of heat throughout the fire. These areas that have a hash mark, these are areas of intense heat. So here's one here, here's some along the Elk Meadows Road up on the west side of the fire. And these areas here were scattered heat. This is the area we did a burnout on 2 days ago. So I'll start up here on this side of the fire. This is the west side of the fire. So Highway 12 runs along here. Right here is the turn off the Elk Meadows Road. And Elk Meadows Road is the back way to get to Lolo Pass. This is where our fire line is on the west side of the road. So in this area, the last few days...
I'm sorry, Mike, can you speak up just a little bit?
Yeah, this area in the last few days, we've been doing aerial ignition and hand ignition, trying to bring the fire down to the fire line, down to the Elk Meadows Road. And the reason we're doing that is we don't want this thing to go across the line, get some wind on it, and start feeding back north in canyons towards Highway 12. So we want to tie this corner up over here on the west side. And we'll try to bring it down into here where it gets down in an area where there are very few, what we call areas of risk, even if it starts moving around. So that's this area. Up here in the north by Highway 12, this is the area by the Oz Ranch. And this is where our portable retardant base is. We have a lot of areas up here that we still need to get the fire down to the fire line. We tried to do that the last couple days, but we're unable to get a clean burn. We need a clean burn to pick up all those fuels in the ground as we try to bring that to the line. We go around here to the Mill Creek area. In this vicinity, we have most of the fires down to the line. We've started mop up, and as we work our way around to the east towards Lolo, around the corner here, past the ski runs on the hill, and then towards the south towards Florence. All of this area from about northwest of Florence, actually a little bit almost straight west of Florence towards the north, we actually have mop up and hose lays. A lot of these areas we have it mopped in towards the fire. And mop up is where we go in, eliminate any source of heat, and our standard is to go at least 100 feet from the constructed line in towards the fire where there's absolutely no fire at all. So we have 71 engines assigned to this fire today, and a lot of their work is helping with this mock up and also to help with structure protection. So today on the fire, our expectation is that we're going to have a dry thunderstorm move in the direction of this fire, coming out of the southwest from Idaho, moving up towards the fire. And at this point in time, we don't know if it will move directly over the fire, west of the fire, east of the fire. Our meteorologist is tracking this storm on radar. So we can go in and talk to him, and as this develops, we'll be able to figure out exactly where this is on the landscape in relation to our fire. So as this approaches and the red flag warning is up because of that possible thunderstorm activity over the fire, we have what's called a lightning activity level forecast, and it goes from 1 to 6. Today is a lightning activity level of 6, the highest you can go. So these thunderstorms are going to generate lightning. We just don't know where it will be at, and they will probably be dry storms, no rain or not enough to fix anything. So as they come out of the southwest, the meteorologist will track those storms. We'll notify our crews on the ground where that storm is at, and at a certain point in time, we will pull the trigger and tell those crews to go back to their vehicles, get inside in a safe area, a safe zone, and wait until that lightning goes over. At the same time, we're going to have engines all around this area, and crews are going to be holding line, and they will have separate engines that will be available for structure protection and initial attack. Initial attack primarily on any new starts that may occur that we need to help DNRC or the local counties with that occur outside of the fire area. And also we'll be watching for any spot fires. If we have a thunderstorm that moves directly over the top of the fire, which would be the worst case scenario, there's probably going to be downdraft winds, and those could be up to 50-mile-an-hour downdrafts, gusting to 50 miles an hour. Those tend to hit the ground, spread 360 degrees, and throws fire every direction depending where it lands on the fire. So if it landed in the center of the fire, that would probably be a good situation because we have fire line all the way around it. If they land on the edge of the fire, we could be affected by winds spotting fire across our lines. And even if that fire ends up over here, say 10 miles to the lightning storm and thunderstorm ends up 10 miles to the west, the outflow winds from that storm could still affect the fire. So that's the importance of tracking the route of thunderstorms as they approach fire areas.
Okay. Alrighty, thank you, Mike. I sure appreciate it.
And that's the story for today.
And that's the story for today. So again, what they're concerned about is a red flag warning tonight that could come in this evening and really affect fire growth, and it could go in any direction. They're expecting up to 50-mile-per-hour winds to come in a downdraft, which could potentially spread the fire in a bunch of different directions. So we'll keep you updated as we learn more about that, and we won't know until this evening as things are developing. So a couple other things going on today down here in Florence. Let's have a look at this air quality. So this is looking across the fire camp, and as you can see over on Clements, and as you can see, it is not looking good down here. Some pretty terrible air quality. You guys haven't had anything flying today, correct?
I haven't heard any. Yesterday we can hear them if they're flying from this area from Stevensville. I have not heard any aircraft in this area up today. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything today just because of how terrible the air quality is. So let's have a look at that warning from the Department of Environmental Quality. So conditions were listed as beyond hazardous, and this is coming from Sarah Cofield over at the Department of Environmental Quality. So they were listed as beyond hazardous this morning here at this fire, and it's just like swamped the Florence area with smoke, especially really getting trapped in this valley. And this is the worst that they've seen it so far in Missoula County, according to Sarah. She said that there were numbers like this coming off of the Sunrise fire at one point when there was a monitor at Quartz Creek, but there are a lot more people living here than there are at Quartz Creek that are being affected by this pretty terrible smoke. So again, when air quality is listed as hazardous, and this is again beyond hazardous, so take these precautions even a little bit further, all people should limit or avoid outdoor exertion and leave the area or stay indoors with filtered air when possible. Anyone experiencing symptoms of heart or lung disease associated with smoke exposure, you should go to your doctor, contact your healthcare provider. And of course, up at Seeley Lake, the health department has recommended they get out of the smoke if they're able to. Conditions in Florence, Lolo, and Seeley Lake should improve by later today, Wednesday, if and when the inversions lift or break. But she adds that the benefit of the inversion break is going to be undercut by the presence of smoke coming from Oregon and California and Washington and Idaho that's going to be hanging over our valleys here and across the whole region. So again, just be careful with the air quality this poor. If you're sensitive, any heart or lung disease, children, elderly should really be careful and stay out of this pretty awful smoke here. So I'm down in Lolo this afternoon, and we're going to keep you updated on everything that's going on. And of course, we'll have the latest at 5:30. One more thing that developed this morning, there were reports of shots fired from the Missoula County Sheriff's Office coming from Mill Creek, and it sounds like an older gentleman was shooting, not anything in particular, perhaps shooting at squirrels up there, but he of course was contacted by the sheriff's department and the sheriff's office, and reprimanded because that is prohibited right now in these fire areas with all of the personnel and everything that's going on. So please be careful. Again, no firearms in these areas. All evacuation orders and warnings remain in effect right now, and we'll be updating those online as those change as well. Alrighty, so stay tuned with KPAX online and on air, and we'll keep you up to date on the Lolo Peak fire and all of the fires burning in this area. Again, my name is Augusta McDonnell, reporting for KPAX News down in Florence.